Good evening. I'm John Scarborough, filling in for Joe Dog McKeel, and this is Stupid O'Clock. Let's start the show. Hey, Dan. Oh, why are you muted, Dan? Okay. You do it. All right, I got it. No.
Okay. There we go. Then, because I muted myself when I left the room to go get my next beer before the credits started. So
okay, you're excused. Okay, and we have the lovely Bill Sartang. Okay, and let me see, and the equally lovely Josh Kemp, and Joe. Okay, and
we are Lewisless tonight because he is working on a project.
He is he's trying to do something on the computer, and apparently the computer runs on Microsoft. So,
well, the computer doesn't want to do what he wants it to do.
Yeah. And there's Carl. Hello,
most
Carl.
Bill stuff is Apple, isn't it?
Or, and goodbye.
What the heck was that?
That was a troll.
Auto troll. Bot troll. Troll bot.
Konnichiwa.
Is that how you say kiss my ass in Japanese?
No, that's how you say hello, I think.
No, hello and goodbye.
All right. So
let me go make sure.
Doing tonight?
Well, I can see a little better.
Hey, you don't usually wear those. Are they new?
They are brand new. These are the readers, the long distance ones. They screwed up on the frames. Got to get a new one. Yesterday morning, I had doctor's appointment, and then eye doctor appointment, and then flu shot appointment. So I had a very busy morning yesterday, and then they told me today, hey, your glasses are ready. And they were only half right. So
yeah.
But I can read the comments now. Oh my God.
Hey. Well, that may or may not be a good thing.
Yeah.
No.
Right now, we've just got Carl and Donna commenting, so that's okay. But
yeah,
you missed whatever the I don't know. I don't recognize whether that was kanji or
thanks, Carl.
Chinese stuff. I don't know. When it comes to foreign languages, I'm really kind of handicapped.
Almost looks Korean, but it.
I haven't the faintest idea. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, well, I just chased that one off and then went over to YouTube and blocked them from ever coming back.
Ooh, now that's a good deed.
That would be. I can't even think of it now.
Make something up.
No, it's an actual language. It's a Chinese language, but it's
Mandarin.
Yes.
Yep. And I don't know. I might vaguely remember what the Japanese characters are called, but I would not know anything about any other Asian language. So, and I'm pretty sure that they use similar but distinct alphabets. So. The one thing I do know is if they have a typewriter, it's got the words on it instead of individual characters like we have. Yeah. So you can imagine that thing's pretty big.
Well, I'll tell you.
Words on it instead of individual characters.
Ooh. Hey, echo.
Oh, I heard that. Okay, that wasn't me.
That was me.
Oh,
echo.
John evidently likes the sound of my voice.
I had a great time out at Outside Con this weekend, but I will tell you this. The idea of the closest bathroom at 150 yards away is not what I remember.
I bet you won the run one-legged race, though, huh?
It was it was interesting. That's to say the least. And
Well,
thankfully there wasn't a big crowd, so there wasn't any waiting for restrooms.
I wouldn't have wait. I would not have waited for a restroom. I was just.
Well,
Nah.
let's just say if there was any standing work to be done, it was done just outside the truck.
There you go.
That's what tires are made for.
Hey, we from the South. You just drop, drop trout.
Or at least go to the porch first.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah,
them azaleas ain't gonna grow themselves.
Yeah, it was it was fun.
It looked like it was fun from what we saw.
Yeah. I took a 64 by 24 or 62 by 24 pavilion and turned it into a nice little entertainment venue. Oh.
And your selection of movies was we were jealous. I mean, we wanted to leave Stupid O'Clock and Last Man Standing and go outside con and watch the movies.
Well, we did have a good selection. The Ernest Goes to Camp. That's mainly because that's where the movie was filmed, and then we did Young Frankenstein, and then Rocky Horror Picture Show. So the movies got better as the night went on.
I would say they were all pretty much equally good.
Yeah.
Oh.
So did anybody get any, I don't know how many of you have Apple products that went through those security updates, but actually Motorola had one themselves that I had to go through on Tuesday.
I got something on my Windows computer, but I'm not sure. My iPad did not tell me if it updated anything whatsoever, so I don't know. It might be sitting there waiting on me to get curious and click on settings and go, is there an update or not? I don't know. I don't have time for it. So, and Pizza Jams is with us.
Yep, Pizza Jam. And Kiri Bloodrose, the other Josh.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and we got 5 people watching this now. One day I've got to try and figure out how to wade through all the replays and reruns and all the different channels we broadcast to and figure out just how many people actually do watch one individual show. It might be 20 or 30 for all I know.
Yeah. We average out about 35, 40 views across all platforms.
We're big in Thailand.
Evidently.
I guess we need to get a flight to Thailand.
No.
Do a live show.
In Thailand, you can get a lobster dinner for $1.
Oh, is that what you call it now?
Yeah, I was about to say, don't make me tell me what my dad used to say about Thailand.
Oh, good God.
We'll have to wait. There's only 8:11 here, so.
Well,
if you knew how many kids I had in Thailand, you'd be impressed. Okay.
Well, I'm sure. I was about to say my dad's got probably 50 kids.
Why are there so many kids named Scarborough in Thailand?
Yeah. Me love you a long time.
I'm just wondering why there's a whole county full of Hollowfields up around where Bill's at right now. I'm going. Well, I know Daddy didn't wander around, so it must have been one of my missing uncles or great uncles or something. So,
believe it or not, Dan, there's a bunch of Hollowfields around here.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it, and we will be related. Believe me. As far as I know, and my brother's done the genealogy stuff, it goes back to 1700 when 3 Hollowfield brothers were forcibly removed from England and put into New York City, and they all went their separate ways. But
You know what's funny? There's an old ship named the HMS Scarborough
mhm.
that was a convict transport, and it wound up in Australia, and apparently it hit the rocks so hard it broke the ship. All right. And they basically let everybody out, started a town, and to this day it's known as Scarborough, Australia.
Oh wow.
Hey,
Dan, you was talking about that. Kemp, my last name's Kemp. That great governor you got over there.
hey, I have to apologize. I have nothing to do with the government.
But
I don't even
ain't
get my
talking.
vote counted around here. So
Well, but that is where my family. That's where my granddad, or all my family came from. Was from Georgia. So,
well, from
my
what
I'm at my great whatever, he fought for the Confederate First Infantry, whatever Confederate infantry, whatever, in the Civil War.
well, from everything my brother's been able to figure out, before 1700 over in England, my family was well, they got charged with moving around too much and having extreme interest in racing horses and things like that. So
Problem was it wasn't their horses.
That's exactly right. Somebody else's horses, and you know how easy it is to change a brand. But he managed to trace my mom's side of the family back to about 9 AD.
Wow.
To some place, to some Vikings up in northern Europe, and it's really exciting. But according to what my brother found, we're related to everybody from Turkey to England to Norway, all around the Mediterranean. And for some strange reason, most of the folks he found seem to be royalty, and I'm going, oh, that's a crock right there. We've never been anything but farmers and blacksmiths. So,
But some of my families did that stuff, and we've traced ours back to some of them back to Austria. There you go. But I'll leave it there.
hey,
I traced my family until they wouldn't stand still anymore and let me trace them.
ran out of paper quick too, didn't you?
I did.
Oh,
Josh, every night that I'm watching Coach with Jerry Van Dyke, the executive producer is a Barry Kemp, spelled the same way as your name.
Not kin to me.
likely cousin, maybe distant cousin, if so.
Could be.
I've actually got a question in the comments. Is naming a song in a book liable? Will you get sued for naming a song in a book? I know it shouldn't put lyrics, but just the name and the artist. Will you get sued for naming a song in a book? I know it shouldn't put. John, you got some external speaker problems going on there? As far as I know,
As long as you know, dictate.
as far as I know, you can name a song and an artist in a story without getting sued. And yes, doing the lyrics would kind of be iffy. You'd have to buy the rights to use it.
I think you can use 2 lines.
2 lines? Okay. Yeah. I've seen people quote things at the beginning of a chapter or something as like a subtitle. I do believe you're right there. But yeah. Now I've gone that route with one book that I wrote that nobody's ever going to see except online, and I used song titles as the subtitle for each chapter. So you had the chapter title, and then underneath it you had a song title, and that was a way to get people to know what it was that I was listening to while I was writing that chapter or something like that. So it was kind of thematic all the way through. Yeah, it's permissible. It's permissible. Let me pull this down. There we go. Go right ahead, Ben. Have at thee. Well, it ain't my damn show, Joe. What else do you do at that outside con? Uh-oh. Looks like he's froze.
Huh?
Oh.
No, just his brain.
I'm a zombie for a second.
Ben says, I got it. Thank you. He plans on quoting you in court if he gets busted.
Hey, well, that's fine. I'm not an expert. I don't even play one on TV.
No.
Outside was fun. We actually, had the Mollies instead of playing, a set. We had everything set up. Of course, I knew this was the actual plan. They came over and sat on one of the picnic tables and did a jam session with a bunch of other musicians.
Oh, wow.
No setup, no practice, nothing. Just they started playing.
That usually winds up being the best thing.
And that was probably one of the best shows we've done at the Pavilion in years, even back before my time. And Carl asked, did they launch the people into space yesterday? Yes, sir, they did. They're going on 3 days, going to be up for 3 days. I think they're
4.
What?
4 days?
4 people. 4 people.
4 people, 3 days. Yeah. From what I hear, they're going to be possibly coming back Friday evening.
I think the billionaire paid for it all.
Yep.
He better.
Hey, better him than me.
Well, there's a Netflix mini documentary series on it, hour-long shows. It shows them doing the G training in fighter jets. All those jets are his.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Including the MiG-29.
He has his own fighter jets.
He has his own MiG-29.
Yeah, I was about to say you got a Russian jet.
And this is not an episode of Captain Scarlet here, so
No, he got a MiG-29, 2 Italian fighter jets, and then a what is it? The one that the Red Arrows fly?
you got me.
The
there.
Red Arrows?
Yeah.
That's a. You talking about the ones here in Alabama?
No, the Canadian team.
Oh.
No, we need Willow for that one.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and here we go.
They're currently flying Hawk T1s as of 1985.
I think they're going to send Bezos up next time and tell him he's going to have to walk home.
The problem is Bezos may go up.
Yeah. He might not come down.
I'm not gonna. No, Bezos may go up. He may not come out. As in up the river.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
what you got there? Ooh, that's pretty.
Oh my!
Oh, that's nice design.
Let me pull up the.
The whatever.
To be fair, the Russians will sell a MiG to any damn body. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Hell, we will too.
Let's start a Kickstarter.
We'll sell a MiG to anybody because we got plenty.
Stupid o'clock Kickstarter for a brand new MiG or a used one.
Yeah, really.
F-15.
AMRAMs and Sidewinders not included.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to know.
I think they actually, to make that legal, they actually have to remove everything but the hard points where the things would be mounted. So
Yep.
it's totally demilitarized to have a civilian fighter plane. To buy one legally, anyway. I'm sure there are people that can manage to buy one illegally.
I've always wanted to get a Douglas A4d Skyraider. Oh, propeller! It was one of the last propeller planes the Air Force ever used. And it's a big single seat fighter. But interestingly enough, there's a big fuel tank right behind the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one version of it where they pull that fuel tank out and they put in seating for 8 people.
Whoa.
It's a courier aircraft.
Okay.
And I would love to have one of those.
Hey, there are several planes I would like to have, although it's my brother-in-law that has the pilot's license, so I'd have to go and take lessons. But,
Give me a A117.
Hey, I wouldn't care if it was a Piper Cub, I think he's got a Piper Cherokee, or yeah, I do believe that's it. I don't know if he's still got it or not. My sister was really, really iffy about him becoming a pilot because she wanted to keep him safe, and I go, you let him drive in Atlanta traffic, don't you? It's much safer to fly an airplane.
You'll die sooner there.
Yeah.
I can't stand small planes. Put me on a cargo jet.
Actually, he took us to a family reunion up there in Knoxville one time, and there was one of the TVA dams and a huge rock quarry right there at our destination, and he turned the plane sideways so we could get a good look, kind of. And my sister was just freaking out, and I'm going, "Oh, wow, this is cool."
That's the A1 Skyraider, and if you look close, that's the courier version. You can see the passenger door there on the side.
Oh, okay, yeah. That thing is loaded down with stuff too.
Oh yeah, it could carry more ordnance than a B-17 did in World War I or World War II. Excuse me.
Impressive.
And there are the planes I'm talking about. All those. He owns the fighter jets. He owns all 6 of those planes. And then there is a picture of his personal jet. Where is that? Pull it back down real quick. But yeah, his where'd it go? Where are you? There you are. This is one of the 2. Well, don't do that. Do this. All right,
Oh.
all right. Okay. Now I got it. This
Oh,
is
no,
this is his well, it didn't pop up, did it?
not yet. There you go.
That's his family's jet.
Hmm.
Well, it's got some interesting tattoos.
Yeah.
I think I saw something like that on a girl last time I went to a nightclub to watch a band play.
Looks like Vegas.
I
And
don't know.
then
There's trees in the background. It can't be Vegas.
I saw him about the plane.
Oh,
and this is his company jet. Oh, it didn't pop up. I'm so used to it popping up. And this is his company jet.
You need. I can't say nothing.
Digital camouflage.
it looks like something Pink Floyd would arrive in.
And it says on the edges, Tempest Fugit.
Oh,
Time flies. Yeah. I just thought of an answer for Carl here. Who would pilot the one that was taking Bezos up? Some guy named Major Tom, I do believe. And we all know how that turned out.
No, but if Bezos goes up, it will be by the honorable. That's all I'm gonna say is honorable.
Yeah. Suddenly, I'm reminded of the old stage play, The Lemmings, where everybody was fitted with a TNT suppository. Thermonuclear in this case would be good. I mean, okay.
well, I'll pilot it, Carl. I mean, I told you I can see now with the glasses.
Yeah, he got new glasses, man. He can fly.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll be doing a lot of that too.
I actually have flown before.
Josh is flying now.
No, I mean piloted a plane.
Well, that one-ups me pretty well. I've just been a passenger. No,
Well,
seriously. I've been on several kinds of planes, several different sizes, from teeny tiny to airliners, and I've looked at the controls, but I've never touched them. That's why I'm still alive.
Well, my uncle, there was a firefighter. He had his pilot license, and he used to let me go up with him, and he taught me a lot of stuff. But one time, he landed in a tree.
That's technically not landing.
Yes,
Yeah,
I know.
I would call that a crash.
Yes,
That's an assisted stop. Right?
yes, and that was. I mean, it was a little. Well, it was I think it was a Cessna or a Piper, but that's why I don't like little planes no more.
Because your relative can't fly one.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't the one doing it. So
Well,
I was in the front seat, but
yeah. Yeah, that's definitely not one of those landings you want to brag about.
no.
No, I have heard of a few of them come down on the highways around Atlanta, in the middle of traffic, and I'm going, do you have some kind of a belly camera or something where you can get in between the cars? Or are you just coming down and hoping you don't hit nothing?
God bless my uncle. He got his kidney took out a couple weeks ago. He just turned 70 yesterday. So God bless him.
Now, apparently there are some electric planes coming out soon that they're not much different from cars as to the operation. So I'm going, oh my God, have you seen the traffic on the ground? Can you imagine these idiots in the air?
Drop by the sky.
Did you see that new plane Rolls Royce came out with the electric engine in it?
No.
Is that the one with the huge? Let's see, the cockpit was way back from the.
Yeah, it looks like a racing plane.
It was electric, but it was. Yeah, it looked really, really neat. But I'm going, how can you see how to land from back there?
Yeah, how many miles is it going to get?
They don't say.
Now that's the question.
Yeah.
300 miles per hour. They don't say how long it stays up, though, which is kind of important.
Yeah. It's just going to fall out of the sky like a pea.
That's why I want to invest in Zeppelins. You run out of gas, the wind just blows you around. You don't hit the ground until you let some of that gas out. Not unlike a balloon, but you don't have to depend on hot air. You've got helium.
Well, don't hit the ground until you let the gas out. I'd auger in not too long after I took off.
That's that new Rolls Royce airplane.
Oh, okay. That's a little.
That's the one. Yeah. It looks sexy as all get out, but I'm kind of disturbed about how far back the cockpit is.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a big plane.
It doesn't seem to give you visibility.
And it's a tail dragger, which, of course, nowadays.
I see.
Nowadays, they put the cameras in it so you can see up underneath the plane. So visibility isn't that big a deal. So.
Well, that looks like just a stretched out Mustang.
It does kind of got that same kind of.
Yeah. Although being Rolls Royce, I would have expected them to look more like the ones from the Battle of Britain, the
Spitfire.
Spitfires, yeah, and it does look like a stretched. It does look like a stretched out Spitfire, yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say once that landing gear gets up, it'll be flat. They'll be able to see.
I bet the batteries are in front of the pilot for CG.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Who's that woman up in the corner?
Where? Oh,
Lord only knows.
Is that the judge that's going to send Bezos up?
Nah, she might be sending us up.
No, we've been sent up too many times already.
Hey, speaking of electric vehicles, if you own a Chevy Volt right now, they're telling you not to park near anybody.
Don't park within 50 feet of any other vehicle because they don't want to pay for all those other vehicles.
I think, yeah.
Oh.
They're going to call it now the Chevy Time Bomb.
Oh, it's basically a Vega or a Pinto.
The Chevy Al-Qaeda.
Okay.
Don't talk shit about the damn Pinto.
That was the first car I ever owned, was a 74 Pinto with the famous exploding gas tank.
Great car.
Well, yeah.
Pinto runabout.
Oh, the little 2-door?
Yeah. 3-door.
Oh, well, yeah, count the hatch, yeah.
Yep. That's what we called them. 3 doors.
Yeah, but you could stuff a 302 down in that thing.
It was
I had a
one of
little
those
200 in it. It just go on fumes forever.
Mhm.
My dad had one that had 302 in
Well, all you had to do was just get the what was it? The motor mounts for a Mustang
Yeah.
2.
it.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Share that for me for just a moment here.
It's shared. You got to hit play.
Yeah.
I guess you're a Chevy
Now
man.
you made Donna mad.
Chevy man.
Well, I'll tell you that one time I had this nightmare that I was driving a Pinto and a Prius came up behind me at the stoplight.
Hey, there's what you need to do. You need to park your Pinto right next to your Chevy Volt. You know, with like
And blow them both up.
a Yugo and a Trabi. Yeah.
Hey, do you know Yugos came with rear window defrosters? You know why? Keep your hands warm in the winter when you're pushing them out of the road.
Oh, hi
Hey,
Ace,
Ace.
hi Keisha.
And hi, Keisha.
Hey, Keisha.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I keep taking over the controls. It's not my show. I shouldn't do that.
take it over. I'm fixing to give it to you tonight anyway. Real soon.
That's what
I
she
ain't
said.
touching that line, Joe Dog.
Oh, think this was a green room or
I
something.
just went in the other room and the air conditioner's good and cool in there. And I think I'm going to sleep good tonight.
Oh, you finally got your AC fixed, huh?
No, it's just in that one bedroom. I got it turned up a little bit.
Mm.
No, I'm going to have to change. Yeah, I need a new unit. It's dead. It's dead, Jim.
Mm.
And there's some vents that are. We had a rat problem earlier this summer.
Ah.
So I'm going to have to change out some vents. So it's going to cost a bunch of money.
Yep. Our furnace under the house went out. Well, it started going out winter before last, but last winter it gave up the ghost. So we made do with space heaters. And it was actually more comfortable and saved us money.
Yeah.
Oh. But sooner or later, I'm going to have to get a central heat and air, probably, because it's not entirely all that comfortable in here anymore with the extra heat, and I'm getting old. I'm kind of want to be comfortable for a while, you know.
You ain't getting old.
I'll be 64 in November, so.
Hell, I had to get a new AC, so everything run around. So,
Well, right now we've got a one of those portable where you just roll it around on the floor and put the exhaust vent in the window, and it works real well in keeping the bedroom at an acceptable temperature for my wife, which is like 20 degrees below zero. But she is from England, so come from the land of the ice and snow. Yeah.
Well, guys, I think I'm going to tap out. You guys are running this show so good without me the last two times. I'm going to let you have some more of it.
Well, we'll run it right into the ground for you.
Yeah,
All
that's right. Careful what you ask for, Joe Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I did have a bunch of people come up to me going, Joe, you're here. Your show's on. I said, yeah, I got a good crew that can run it. So Carl, somebody send Carl a link. Get Carl in here, and maybe talk Ace into jumping into. But yeah, I'm jumping out to bed. I got.
All right, Joe.
Let's see. Who's got
Yeah.
Carl and Ace on their?
All right. What's? Well, John knocked it off. I was fixing to throw it up on screen. All right.
Did I knock
Good
it
night,
off? My bad.
I can take care of that, Dan.
Oh,
Good night.
okay, good. Thank you.
Here you
Good
go,
night,
Dan.
Donna. What the? Oh, okay.
Hey,
It's a green screen Snuggie.
Snuggie.
So Dan can stay warm and show his favorite movie at the same time.
I have totally thought about that. I've got the cloth on my chair so it doesn't show. But
Have y'all?
I've thought about making myself a bathrobe out of the green screen material and a hood, and just be sitting there and float the beer in the air.
Dan, no,
you need to get a Lincoln green fez. Okay.
You're from the South. You should not be cold.
Bye, y'all.
See you, Joe.
It should not be cold. The temperature's under 90. I am cold.
No.
Actually, the maintenance men at work keep the temperature in the break room about 62 degrees, and I have to put on a coat to go on break.
That'd be Laura's favorite temperature. Freezing me out.
Mine's on 68 right now.
My teeth would be chattering if I still had any.
Links are sent, Dan.
Okay,
78. Good. I keep the house about 78. So. Now my mom keeps her house at Meat Locker. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say my aunt. She puts hers on like 60. I mean, lowest she can get it.
Well, as of Saturday morning at 7 a.m., I will be starting my 44th year in the factory, and there ain't no AC except in the offices where management works and in the break room. It's either 10 degrees hotter than it is outside or 10 to 15 degrees colder than it is outside in the wintertime. So the temperature goes from -4 to roughly 110 degrees in there. And I've had to get used to it. So air conditioning is not one of the things that I have spent much time getting used to because it's kind of useless for me.
Be right back.
When we're coming back from Chicago, Laura is easily gets hot, and so she's got the AC cranked up in the Toyota, and then I'll shut my vent off, and then I'll turn my heated seats on and turn them all the way up just to stay warm. But
yeah, Ace, it won't work. It won't work. I've still got to go out on the factory floor in the ambient temperature and deal with it. So, and happy birthday, Ace!
yeah, happy birthday.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Because I work in a factory, I got to be used to the ambient temperature. Otherwise, it gets really uncomfortable.
Who are we supposed to send invites to be on the show?
Bill just did.
I sent Carl, Ace, and Keisha.
Well, if they're willing and able.
The last link that you sent me, Dan, is the one that I sent them.
Hey, Josh Curie, you want to be on the show tonight?
Hey, one can only ask.
We need to have Donna on the show.
Oh,
yeah, I forgot about Donna. Crap. She'll want to come on and defend her Pintos.
Well, the trouble with getting Donna on the show is if I start telling any kind of jokes that she likes, she's going to need an oxygen tent. So we run into that in the green room from time to time. Thankfully, I don't feel very funny right now, but never know when the mood will strike me. Where's Joe? Oh, where's Joe? Joe decided to call it a night already. He was not feeling all that good when we got started. He was just here for the team, and he decided to call it an early night. So
Yeah.
Donna, I sent you a link.
So John and I both have control, which is why things are going to screw up from time to time. We'll try
Anyway,
at the same time.
Oh,
what?
Yeah. Tell me that was accidental. I'll call
It
you a
was not
liar.
accidental. I did that on purpose. Okay.
I know. May you find C4 in your Captain Crunch.
Wouldn't be the first time.
You must have been with a fun unit. That kind of practical joke.
Okay.
Oh.
One of the problems of being in the military and going to a demolition range is you have to wait for range control to open the range. And they won't open the range if some of the other ranges are having safety issues. So if the Bradley gunners are having problems, or the Abrams gun or machine gun range or whatever is having problems, they won't give you permission to go hot. And so we were sitting there one day, and there was a brush fire. Somebody had fired some tracers downrange, set something on fire. They had to stop all shooting and send a little fire truck out, put out the brush fire and stuff. And that's one of the problem. One of the things nowadays with being in the military and going to ranges is the EPA is just everything's, oh, you got to be careful. You can't start brush fires because it puts smoke in the air, and the smoke drifts out of the military post and poisons a bunch of Democrats that whine about it and things of that nature. So anyway,
there goes the flamethrower practice.
yeah.
I don't use those anymore. But anyway, so you're sitting at a demo range. You have nothing to do while you're waiting and waiting and waiting. So everybody started making little animals out of C4 from the Caddyshack movie, and had the little rabbit and and the gopher and all sort of stuff like that. So we were bored. Never let engineers get bored with explosives. That's I don't know how many range control people we have watching the show, but don't ever let your engineers get bored when they're waiting to blow up C4. So.
That's what
John's
you get
out
for
there.
playing with serious, buddy.
John's out there singing great big gobs of greasy, grimy gopher guts.
Mutilated chocolate baby parakeet. Blood and guts all over the street, and I never forget my spoon. It's right up here in the compartment.
What base was that?
That was Shelby, actually.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Strange enough, we were getting ready to go to Iraq. We were at Shelby. There's my spoon, by the way. Anyway, we were at Shelby. We were getting ready to go to Iraq, and we were going to the demo range, and they suddenly realized their demo range was way too small because it was just, it's for small. We were training 2 companies at a time. Their range was basically designed for training a platoon, like 1/4 of a company. So, so it's kind of funny. Range control guy comes out and says, we need to expand this range. And we were like, yeah. He says, why don't you go over that tree line? I want you to take out all those trees.
We can do that.
Problem.
Force us to have fun, why don't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
shucks. Do we have to?
Oh, dear. No, this is probably going to get us in a little trouble here.
I can't read it.
Oh, I will read it out loud.
You need my glasses?
Yeah, I do.
The chat was
Told you.
talking about drinking a golden George Dickel, and I asked him if he wants to suck the gold off the Dickel. Used my audio engineering skills, and he made a meme audio of him saying it. He laughed his butt off when he read it, when he heard it.
I'm glad you read that, John.
I don't think I could have kept a straight face.
I was in the military. I've heard worse jokes.
Oh yeah, well,
And George Dickel, he was awful funny on Johnny Carson show all the time. Oh no, that's George Gobel. Never mind.
George Dickel is like bourbon type.
Yeah.
Water's for washing, Dickel's for drinking.
So you cleared the line off of there at Shelby.
Oh, we expanded their range by about 50%. Yeah.
might not have done for a golf course when they were finished, but it was larger.
We had to give them a fire break, basically. So
That was the excuse.
well, it was an older range, and they had new range EPA restrictions, basically. And the EPA said you can't blow this up because it's too close to the trees. Hello, with range control said, no problem, we'll get rid of the trees. And EPA is like, wait, that didn't what we nope, we'll get rid of them trees, no problem.
That's not what we meant.
Well, it's kind of funny. You can tell the EPA guys that come out and do all that stuff are Yankees because they go down to central Mississippi and they're trying to protect the trees and other wildlife. Okay. In the middle of the pine belt. Okay. Chances are your printer paper for your computer came out of this area. Okay.
And them trees will come back in 30 minutes anyway.
Exactly. Like the kudzu of deciduous trees, or well, they're not the kudzu of conifer trees.
Yes. I mean, I cut the damn things down as often as I can here, and they keep coming back. I mean, if it were dogwoods, I would let them come back, but no, they're pine trees.
Yeah.
I was out there one day, and they had these things. I thought it was lawnmowers at first, and it was all over the post, and they weren't lawnmowers. They're going around, and they were sucking up all the pine needles on the post. And I'm like, that's kind of because they were sucking them down. They were sucking up all the pine needles down to the dirt, leaving just mud and gravel, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
Why would they get rid of all the pine needles? It's good ground cover. Keeps the mud down. Turns out the military, Camp Shelby, makes money letting these people come in and pick up all the pine needles and selling them at Lowe's and Home Depot as ground
landscaping.
Cover, landscaping cover. And that was the first I'd ever heard of that. And it was, but it makes perfect sense, once you think about it.
I used to know some folks that would walk around with burlap bags and rake up pine straw in the woods and take it back and bale it up like a bale of hay and sell it to landscapers as ground cover for when they were planting yards and things.
They had these things that they look like 0G lawnmowers or 0-turn lawnmowers. And they had this brush basically on the front and they had a big bag on the back of the thing, sucking up all the pine needles. And they'd go back over this truck and dump them off in this truck. Kind of fun to watch. Because
well, that would keep the pines from regrowing too.
You think?
I've never seen anything that would keep a pine tree from regrowing.
Well, I mean, when they drop.
We went there one year when all the pine trees were in bloom.
And everything was green.
Yeah, yellow green, zinc chromate color. And I think I've still got green snot in my sinuses from 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still thinking about the 0G lawnmower. I think we could invent that.
Well, it's
The 0G pine needle sucker.
they actually
It won't
have
have no
lawnmowers.
electric engine.
There, I promise you, I've cut every pine tree around me down. There's nothing but an oak.
We got stuck on a detail one time. The general on the post down at Camp Shelby.
Donna says she didn't get the invite that you sent.
I sent the link to you, Donna. I'll send it again.
Where did you put it, Bill?
I sent it to her on Facebook Messenger.
Facebook Messenger. Check your Facebook
Okay.
Messenger, Donna.
Yeah, that's where I sent all of them. Ace's and Carl's and Keisha's.
But we had to go out with whitewash. I'd never seen whitewash before. We had to go out with whitewash in these big nasty brushes that they had, and they wanted us to paint all the trees from 6 feet down.
Oh, for the Beatles.
No, so that you wouldn't run into them in a truck.
Mm,
Yeah, just all of them.
another excellent reason. Yeah.
And we're like, man, where are we? And we're going out, we're painting all these pine trees. And whoever scheduled this thing didn't realize that pine trees, their bark kind of sheds in layers at certain times of the year. So literally, we got them all painted, got everything done, went through about, if I remember correctly, it was $1,700 worth of paint and brushes and all the equipment to paint them. And literally, first time it rained, all that bark peeled off, and you couldn't tell we had painted anything. And the colonel and command sergeant major who wanted this done were furious and were like, "See those clouds? Yeah, bitch at them."
Really?
Shit.
We painted the trees.
We-
That's what the assignment was. We painted the trees. The trees decide whether or not they want to keep the paint.
Well, I got a buddy. My neighbor. He has to go to Shelby, whatever. He's in the reserves now, but what is it? Once a month or whatever it is now.
It depends on where you're at, but I mean, and what you're doing. We went
But-
at least once a year for
I
the
think
annual training, National Guard. But
I think he goes once a month or once every other month. But
I got stuck on a detail one time to go down.
he bitches
full
about,
maintenance on some of our vehicles down there.
he bitches about that place. So
Well, the barracks are ancient. I mean, and they're fire traps. I mean, that's you're not allowed to smoke within 50 feet of any of the buildings, not because they have anything against smoking, but because they're afraid the buildings will just burst into flames.
I've been in campgrounds like that for SCA events.
Two, it's always wet. I mean, it's almost like the place invented scuba gear. It's just humid all the time. The whole place is one big tornado target.
yep.
As a matter of fact, it dates back to before World War II. It was one of the largest bases in the country, but about 3/4 of it have been destroyed by tornadoes. So, we were down there when Hurricane Gustav hit.
Mhm.
Okay, and they actually pulled us in from training to put us in the barracks because the hurricane was coming in. So we're like, cool, so we went to the PX. Of course, being the good engineers that we were, we went to the PX and bought a bunch of beer. Right out the hurricane. What else you got to do? And about the time we got back and put all the beer on ice, they said, grab all your combat gear. We're going to Baton Rouge. Or we're going to New Orleans. And we wound up doing National Guard policing in Baton Rouge, Louisiana for Hurricane Gustav. So I don't know whatever happened to the beer. We left it behind. We had a 54-gallon cooler just full of beer and ice, and
shit, you should have took it. As my dad would have said.
We went down the motor pool, drew out these really just old Humvees for training. And to give you an idea, this was in 2000. When was Gustav? Was that 2008? I can't remember.
2007, 2008, yeah.
Most of the Humvees we were sitting in were 34 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The years riding in shit my daddy ran.
And we were down in the motor pool, and here's what's funny. We're in the motor pool. The hurricane's coming in, rain everywhere, tornado warnings. The tornado sirens are going off. We're sitting in these vehicles, sitting in the motor pool. There's like 6 inches of water rolling through the motor pool from all this rain that the hurricane is dumping on us. And it's like, what the hell are we doing? So as soon as the weather cleared, we hit the road, and we made it all the way down to Slidell, which is it's the north end of the Lake Pontchartrain Bridge is Slidell. And we stayed in the National Guard Armory in Slidell overnight. And then the next morning we went out to Baton Rouge. We got there, and Baton Rouge was a mess. No power, no water, no nothing. And they had us setting up a FEMA disaster relief supply station in the Walmart parking lot. They had this big shopping mall parking lot area with Walmart on one end, a bunch of other stores on the other. We're handing out ice, tarps, the FEMA version of the MREs, and water. It was a mess.
Well, I was about to say, I mean, when that tornado hit here in Tuscaloosa, that's basically what they did. National Guard. They came through here and handed out the.
Did you know that Alabama has the only National Guard Special Forces unit in the military?
I did not know that.
They have a Special Forces Reserve and National Guard unit in Alabama.
Wow.
They're out of, used to be Anniston. I'm not sure where they moved it to. I'm sorry, not Anniston. Fort McClellan.
Yeah, Fort McClellan.
McClellan.
Which is, I mean, that's
Anniston.
right there.
Yeah,
Anniston. So.
You know, that I always felt bad about Fort McClellan. Fort McClellan, for those of you who don't know, used to be the home of the military police school. That's where if you were going into military police in the military, that was where you went to basic training. It was also the home of the chemical corps. So if you were going into any of the chemical MOSs, that was where you went to basic training. Long, proud history of these two institutions, the MPs and the chemical corps. And during the base closure thing back during the Clinton administration, this is one of the bases that got chosen for closure. And do you know why? They didn't.
I know.
They didn't have a runway. They didn't have any place to land aircraft, so they closed the base. And now here's what's funny: they spent billions of dollars moving the MP school and the chemical school up to Missouri, to Fort Leonard Wood. So now Fort Leonard Wood has the engineer school, the chemical school, and the MP school.
But do they have a runway?
I'm not
Oh
sure.
yeah.
Well, they got St. Louis.
Oh, well, yeah.
But Aston, they had a runway up there.
They didn't have a.
They don't have one right there by
Yeah.
the
reason that
base.
Camp Shelby became a major post for deployments. They had just put in a new runway for C-17 transports.
Mm.
They had the C-130 runway that was just south of the post. And then north of the post, they put in the C-17 runway, which is a lot longer and wider. And they also had Mississippi's Air National Guard had a C-17 detachment. So that's the reason that post became, the superstar. So.
Well, I mean, like here in Tuscaloosa, our regional airport, it's got 2 runways. Columbus Air Force Base, they do their touch and goes and everything like that with all kinds of aircraft. I mean, we have they'll do fuel runs and everything like that. So
Yeah, we've got a couple of highways around here that are straight as an arrow for 10 or 15 miles, and there's a couple of hills every once in a while, but there is no electric wires crossing them whatsoever. And the rumor is that back in the 50s, these roads were laid out that way so that they could be used for emergency landing fields and
Highway 58 here in Chattanooga, just north of the Volunteer Army Ammunition Plant. They used to make TNT, and it's called the TNT plant for forever. But Highway 58 had a section like that, and it was kind of funny. They weren't allowed to have electrical lines running across the road, and all the signs for the businesses had to be a certain distance from the center of the road so that the planes could land on the road to load military supplies.
And the ones that would have been the best for it, instead of having asphalt surfaces, they were concrete.
Right.
So, which made for interesting rides. You get this clump, 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 like you're riding a horse or something. But hey, it was the 50s. Everybody was worried about a nuclear war, so there were all kinds of contingency plans for converting anything and everything into wartime footage. Not footage. Footing. Yes. Thank you. So every airliner from that era had blueprints on there where you could put one in the shop, rip out the seats, and make it into a bomber, or leave the seats and make it into a troop transport or anything like that. One matter of fact, the first farm that my family owned, right next to it was this big, like 12-foot tall chain link fence with razor wire on the top of it. And it turns out the farm that we owned right across from that was used for military training for World War I and World War II. They parked tanks inside that enclosure, and there were tank tracks all over the damn farm. And my dad was forever finding sea rations all over the place. He said, the crackers are still good. The cheese ain't worth, but it's still sealed. Ain't no mold on it. But we were finding. I found stripper clips of blank cartridges, 308s and whatnot, all over the place. I mean, you're running around there with a bush hog, and you're gonna set off some rifle cartridges if you don't have that thing raised up a little bit.
John, where'd you go? What basic did you do? Where'd you go
I
to
went
basic?
to Fort Benning, Georgia, which is
Okay.
down in Columbus.
Yeah, I know where it's.
And I was there. I went to Harmony Church back when it still had the old World War II barracks. We were one of the last units that actually went through there. Before they had already converted Sand Hill over to the new style barracks. Matter of fact, we jokingly called it the Sand Hilton because they had the big air conditioned barracks and stuff.
Hi, Carl.
And then I went through infantry basic training. I was 11 Charlie infantry mortars, and I got stationed. My first duty station out of basic was Berlin. My second duty station was Fort Knox, Kentucky, with an armored unit up there. And then I went back to. I was so disappointed with going to an armored unit that I went back to Berlin. I re-upped in the military and got it in my contract. I want to go back to Berlin because Berlin was cool. And then I got out. I did some civilian jobs for a while. I eventually joined the National Guard. And when I joined the National Guard, I went as 12 Bravo, which is engineer, light combat engineer. And that's where I got to blow it. Strangely enough, I got to blow a bunch of stuff up when I was 11 Charlie because I went to French commando school.
That must have been fun.
That was very fun, except for the fact that only one of our guys in our platoon that went to the school spoke French. So everything was pantomime.
Parlez-vous français?
But it was kind of funny. We got attached to a French unit, and the French army is a conscript army. They have to do 1 year in the military. Period. They don't get a choice. If you're young and physically fit, you go into the military for a year.
There are several countries that do that.
There's a lot. Germany does that.
Israel.
I think Israel is more than 1 year, though.
Yeah, it's like 4 years.
Now, the interesting thing about France is they go to their basic training and they send them. They're basically, it's like basic training light for 1 whole year. So they go through their initial basic training and then they get attached to a unit, and none of them want to be there, basically. Now, the ones that do get the option of joining the professional military, not the conscript military. But most of them are just doing their years, then go back home and do whatever they were doing there, which is kind of interesting because most of the people in their military do something else. Cooks, mechanics, electricians, plumbers. It's almost like one big combat engineering unit. And then
so like the Afghan army?
No, not really. But no, they're just doing it because the government says
they got to. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
it's like paying income tax. You've got to do it.
Yeah. So what's funny is this was Napoleon Barracks in Berlin, which was up in the French sector, and they're about done. They're at the last month of their year in the military, so they're ready to go home, right? But here's what's funny: they send these units as they get close to the end of their tour. They send them to the French commando school to show them what the professional military is like.
In case somebody actually wants to go in.
Like if you stay in, this is what the real military is like, not the conscript military. And so half our unit were these conscripts that didn't really want to be there, but this was kind of cool, And then we were paired up with them. So we sat there and we talked about it. Some of them spoke English, most of them didn't. Some of the instructors spoke English, most of them didn't. So we're going through the French commando school, and we're eating the French food in the French mess hall with the French way of doing it.
Right back.
Which is, the French still have segregated mess halls. meaning that the enlisted members have their own mess hall. Then the sergeants, the NCOs, have their own mess hall, and then the officers have their own mess hall. The U.S. military doesn't do that anymore. Everybody eats in the same dining facility, and and it was weird. Just some of the French style of cuisine. The French will give you a huge plate of pasta when you're eating spaghetti. They give you a huge plate of pasta with just this little bitty dab of sauce right in the middle. Their spaghetti sauce is almost a condiment. It's not real, it's not like the way Americans eat spaghetti.
Now I know where my wife learned to cook spaghetti.
And it must be a European thing. But what's
basically
funny is we went in there one day. We'd been working real hard all day. We went into their mess hall, and they gave us this really nice plate. It had this really nice strip of beef. Okay. And we didn't think anything. We're all tired. We're hungry. We sat down and started eating. I noticed a bunch of the guys aren't eating the beef. I couldn't figure out why. Turns out I'm sitting here cutting it. It's really tasty piece of beef. Real tender, real nice. I go to flip it over, and there's taste buds on the bottom side of it. It's beef tongue. Okay.
Hey, I was thinking it was going to be, you flipped it over and there were still marks from where the jockey was hitting it.
Well, I was about to say, I was thinking horse.
No, but strangely enough, and most of the guys didn't want to eat it. And I told them, hey, just take that piece of skin off the bottom of it and don't worry about it. It's good. It tastes great. And there were a couple guys that had flipped it over to see what it was, and were like, I actually had one guy watching me eat it, and he was like, you can see that look on his face, like, he wanted to say something, but I was enjoying it, so he didn't want to say anything. So that's
don't often run into that problem in Georgia. Most folks are pretty glad to make fun of anything that you want to eat.
If you ever get a chance to eat beef tongue, it's actually very tasty. Pig feet. Have you ever eaten pig feet?
Yes.
I've seen it, but no, I haven't. Haven't enjoyed
I have.
If you ever get a chance to eat it, that meat that's in the foot.
You gotta. I was about to say you got to get in there.
It's kind of like crawfish. It's very tasty, but it's a lot of work. Because there's like 28 bones in a pig's foot, and you got to like pry the bones apart to get the really tasty meat.
Sounds like crab legs, actually.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Crab legs are easier than
break that apart.
Yeah.
You got to get in there. You got to dig.
And then let's see. Oh, and their MRE, the French field rations are kind of interesting. In the military, they'll give you 3 MREs, basically. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Okay. The French they have 1 box. It's about the size of a shoebox. Not quite that big, but close. And you open it up, and there's all these little packages and cans of just all sorts of stuff. There'll be stuff like sardines, sports food, they had Isbit tabs for the Isbit cookers. So they had tea. They had just all these snack foods and stuff like that. And the main meal would be some sort of beef, and then there'd be a secondary meal that was like sardines and stuff like that. It was all really cool stuff because you could put it in all these pockets and stuff on your uniform and carry it around all day and eat when you could. That's the way the military is.
Yeah. Eat when you got time, sleep when you got time, piss whenever you got a chance.
Sleep whenever you can. But the funny thing was the French were bitching about it, especially the officers and NCOs were bitching about the MRE or their rations. We're bitching about it because apparently the better rations come with cognac. And we were like, what? And they're like, yeah, it comes with cognac. Apparently it's, these packets of salad dressing you get for your salad.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. It's about that big. It's a big plastic container. You tear the top off of it, drink your cognac.
Okay.
And when we found out about it, when one of the French guys explained it to us, we started bitching too. Why do we get cognac? Damn it!
The American troops get warm beer and they like it.
Yeah, there you go.
No, they don't.
Now the Germans get a beer ration.
Yeah, I'm about to say Germans. That's the warm beer. My dad used to bitch about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we were going through all these training, and there was a lot of obstacle courses and confidence courses and demolitions classes and all these things that we do. And we went to the one, and they had a hand-to-hand combat course that we went through. That was kind of cool too. But we went there, and the guy who's teaching the hand-to-hand combat course looked like he was from Ireland. Red hair, big bushy red handlebar mustache, with little curls at the end of it. We're like, guy's kind of cool. So we got in there, and of course he showed us all the hand-to-hand stuff that the French commandos get taught. And our lieutenant who was with us was talking with him. It was like, I'm sorry, our platoon sergeant who was with us was talking with him. And he goes, "That is an awesome mustache." And the guy's like, "Thank you." He goes, "We're not allowed to have mustaches like that in the U.S. Army." And he goes, "Oh, we're not allowed to have them in the French Army either." He says, "Well, how do you get away with wearing a mustache like that?" He goes, "I'm the hand-to-hand combat instructor. Who's going to make me shave it?"
When you can snatch the pebble from my hand, I'll shave.
Yeah.
Oh, Grasshopper, you got a lot
If you
to learn.
can kick my ass in combat, I'll shave the mustache.
Yeah, right.
Let's
Bad
go.
chance of that ever happening. Woo.
I had a friend of mine that was in the National Guard for 20 years, and he did his weekend warrior thing once a month. Usually they stayed at the Danville Armory.
Right.
And then once a year, they would go up to Fort McCoy, Wisconsin to do their little summer camp. And early on, they were going on some maneuvers. He was carrying an M60, one hand kind of up in his arm. He had a barrel bag slung over his shoulder with the spare barrels for the 60. Mm-hmm. And he got goofing around. Decided he was going to be Rambo and across the trees on the other side with a 60. And decided to trim some trees. And the end result of that is he lost his E5 classification from it. Became the cook afterwards.
Hey, my cook was. We went out to this demo range at Camp Shelby, Mississippi, and we were doing wire obstacles, and we were putting the Bangalore torpedoes through the wire obstacles. And we drove down there, and they were going to let us stay on site. And what that means is you drive down in an armored personnel carrier, drop the ramp, run out, put the Bangalore torpedo in, run back into the armored personnel carrier, they bring the ramp back up, and they blow it while you're sitting there like 50 meters from it. I mean, it's, huge explosion, and you're right there in the middle of it. Not incredibly dangerous, just very invigorating. You got to pay attention to what you're doing.
Yeah, but I imagine it's good training for actually being under fire.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so we're down there, and of course, being a sergeant, I had to make sure that everything was done safely. So you sort of do it at speed, but you're making sure that everybody's in the vehicle and the vehicle's buttoned up and all the hatches are closed.
Yeah.
And stuff, just everything's ready to go. Now, the only thing, when you bring the ramp up, there's one guy who stays on the ground. He's got the end of the charge lines.
Oh, the detonator sort of thing?
Well, not yet. He's got the detonators too, but he's holding on to charge lines. They bring the ramp up. They open the back
Gotta lock
door.
it.
Okay, there's a ramp and there's a door in the ramp. And the front of the vehicle is facing toward the explosion. So he gets in, and we're using flash tubes, which is the new modern demolition initiator at the time. So we come in, and you bring him into the vehicle, and you're the last man in. So you bring him in, you cut the cords off, you take the initiators, you attach them to each of the cords, and you always double everything, so there's 2 cords. So you're sitting here, and there's a tradition in the military when you're training like that either the oldest person who's getting ready to retire shoots it, or the youngest person who's never shot one before shoots it.
Makes sense.
And it just so happens one of the guys in our vehicle who came down to see what was going on is a cook. And he's not even the cook. He's like an assistant cook. Okay.
He's the sous chef.
And not even that. He's like the guy that runs the dishwasher. Okay.
Oh, okay. Sounds like the job that they would give me.
The scullery chef. And he's an older fella. He joined the National Guard, but because of 9/11 and all that. So he joined. Let's just say he's seen a lot of donuts. Okay. Patriotic, but
Well, I can guess.
Yeah.
What I ain't gonna say nothing. But
so anyway,
what time is it? We've got
we got 30 minutes. No.
We got half an hour.
This is not Friday, and it's not the green room, Josh. So you gotta keep it zipped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we turned out. I look at everybody, and everybody who's in the vehicle has done this before, except for the cook. So we're going to let the cook do it. So I give him the little block of instructions about, okay, here's what you do. You pull the safety pins on each one of them. Push it in, twist, push it in, twist. And when we say get ready to fire, grab the 2 rings, and we'll say, 3, 2, 1, fire. And you pull both of them at the same time. Now, this is not time fuse. This is flash tube. You pull it, it goes off instantaneously. There's a big boom afterwards. Okay, it's like, boom, So we explained that to him. He's like, and you can see he's kind of nervous. And I said, don't be nervous. We do it all the time. This is how it works. So it's kind of like, I'm trying to explain it to him in cook talk. So it's kind of like a gas stove. You got to light it. So anyway, we're sitting here, and you can see it's Camp Shelby in the middle of summer. Everybody's sweating, but you can see he's sweating pretty good. It's right.
It's like you're lighting pilot light. Mm.
Exactly. Yeah, but lighting a pilot light, if you do it all the time, is no big deal. It's when it doesn't work that it's
yes.
Yeah.
Sort of like an M80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we call up on the radio. We tell them, we're ready to fire. And they say, okay, you're cleared to fire. Says Roger. We'll
fire.
Yeah, we'll fire in 10 seconds. Okay. Okay. And we're like 5, 4, and he pulls the safety pins. Yeah. 3, 2, 1, pull. Woo! And his face just lit up. Because this is like the coolest thing he has ever done in his life. Okay. Now here's the funny part. Annual training's over. Okay. We go back. I see him a few months later. He has been working out solidly every day for like the last 3 months. Okay. He comes in, just walking in, and you'd think he was just Rambo incarnate. And here's what's funny is he would soak up information like a sponge.
Mm.
Okay. You would tell him something about light. Well, he's a cook, but you would tell him something about being a light combat engineer, and he wanted to know it. He wanted to know everything. You would be doing preventive maintenance checks and services on vehicles. He'd want to come out there and know every little bit of the vehicle. You'd be doing PMCSs on machine guns. He'd want to know every part of the machine gun, and just like that. And we got deployed to Iraq for our second time, and he went with us. And he was like, most of your, in Vietnam they called them REMFs, REMFs, rear echelon MFs. Okay. Yeah. Meaning they didn't go out in the bush and do stuff.
Yeah.
In Iraq, we call them FOBITs, meaning they stayed on the forward operating bases. They didn't go out. Okay. So he didn't want to be a FOBIT.
This guy was ready to go out and do something.
He was like, and we were like, every time we got, like, if we were going to test fire machine guns, he wanted to go out and test fire machine guns. If we were going to go out on route clearance, he wanted to go out on route clearance. If we were going to, and the really bad part, I hate this for him, is where we wound up at our second tour. Our first tour, we were out doing all the combat missions. We were doing the route clearances. We would go in and clear villages. We would clear, what we consider to be terrorist hideouts. We were clearing ordnance. We were dealing with explosives, just all these different things we were doing at the time that were combat missions. I mean, you were getting shot at. Our second tour, now here's what's funny. There was this huge FOB at Balad. It's a big air base. Okay. We were on another FOB inside that FOB. Okay. Literally, if we were going to get attacked, they had to make it through this other base to get to our base.
I understand it from medieval castle design, but that's really remote from what you're talking about.
And we wound up, instead of doing combat missions going out, we pulled guard duty on this inner FOB.
Yeah, for operating base.
Yes, and our job was essentially where we were at had their own air assets and their own combat assets, and our job was just to keep everybody else, including the Americans, out of this area because they didn't want just tourists,
Dan, take care of the comments.
Oh, what? Oh, good God! The Asian person.
Yes,
is back.
the Asian douchebag. Yeah, that guy.
Yep. How do I block user? Thank you.
There you go.
Got it. I hope that wasn't Donna.
It was Donna.
Oh,
You blocked Donna.
I'll never hear the end of that. No, you go ahead. I've got to go to the beer fridge. Why does your speaker keep doing that randomly?
I'm bringing up YouTube, and I'm going to YouTube, and I'm reporting the douchebag to YouTube so that he can never get back on YouTube again.
Thank you. I would never have thought to have done that. So
I'm reporting him for hate speech, pornography, and child molestation. So,
There you go.
kind of like I do my congressman.
and I think he kicked his dog too. So
Yeah.
that got Dan so worked up he had to go get another beer.
I don't know what he's drinking tonight, but
report child abuse report. Okay, and then report. Let's see hate speech report, and then I'm going to report. Can you report people for bodily odor? Let me see.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh boy, there we go. That's.
But before you continue with that story there, John, I was going to tell you, my dad was in the army for 10 years, and he was at I think Jackson, Fort Jackson,
Fort Jackson. There was a Fort Jackson, yes.
and then he went into the Marine Corps and had to go to Paris, and then he went to, I think he went to Fort Bliss, then Pendleton, then Okinawa, and then Beirut. He was over there in Beirut when that bombing happened. Knock on wood, he didn't get hit when that. He wasn't. He was on the outside when that shit happened. Well, he was. Well, let's just say he might have been
Fort
doing
Jackson.
something.
Fort Jackson is in South Carolina, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, John, you might be interested in this. My wife found a bunch of stuff from her father from when he was.
Keep talking. I'm listening. I'm going to grab something real quick.
Okay,
I can hear you, but I'm going to disappear from.
that's all right. He was part of the D-Day invasion. He was airdropped inside a tank from a glider on D-Day into behind the lines in France. And my wife found his letters back home to his parents and his family. And she sent all this off to her son out in New Mexico so he can transcribe it and make a permanent record of it from translating his grandfather's handwriting. But what you got there?
This is my almanac from basic training.
Ooh.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if I didn't have epilepsy, I would be in the military right now.
Yeah. I wanted to join the Air Force right out of high school so I could become a mechanic and work on airplanes because I knew I wouldn't be able to fly because I'm legally blind.
Okay. Let's see if I'm having trouble seeing it. Let me see. There's. All right. Let's see if I can do this. All right. That is Sand Hill. That's the new barracks I was telling you about. Big, block building.
It does look like a hotel.
Yeah. I went through basic training in those.
Huh?
That looks like slave quarters, actually.
Yeah.
That was Harmony Church.
Looked like Andersonville.
Strange enough, Andersonville is just outside the front gate of Fort Benning, Georgia.
Yep, yeah, I know. I know.
When I was like 10 years old, my dad would come to my grandmother's house and wake me up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and make me run a mile down the road. He'd run backwards, and I couldn't keep up with his ass. And we'd run a mile every morning, but that's just how he was. I mean, that's just how he was.
Well, if you ran backwards too, see, you could run backwards right back to the house and then go back to bed while your dad kept running.
No,
he still had a belt in his pants.
No, yeah, I was about to say he would have probably whooped my ass if I did that.
All right, there's our little graduation thing. Let's see if I can find me here.
That's all the same person.
Yeah, we're all wearing the same hat.
Yeah.
Very tacky dressers.
I can see you, John. You're the cute one.
Am I? I can't. Oh wait, that's me right there on the end, isn't it? Look.
There you go. There's my pops.
Yeah, that's me. Oh, there. All right.
I'd recognize that chin over the radio.
No kidding. Strange enough, they took a picture of us in basic training that looked similar to that, where they put you in the helmet, they pull the chin strap up as tight as they can get it so you can't
Oh
smell it,
yeah.
and then take your picture. And that is actually one of my probably 5 favorite pictures I've ever had taken. But,
That was his. That's when he got into the Marine Corps. I don't know why he got out of the damn Army. And he was a damn staff sergeant in the Army.
Same reason
a
my
lot
dad
of guys
quit
will join the military and they'll get tired of not doing anything. So they'll try and join a unit that has a better chance of getting combat experience. The Marine Corps, they're smaller. They're smaller in the Army, but they have a lot more interesting jobs like embassy security. You get to see.
Well, I was about to say. Well, he was a chemical engineer in the chemical engineer in the Marine Corps.
I was in the mortar platoons, and I don't know who the jackass was that was taking pictures. I don't know if y'all can see this very clearly over the computer screen.
It looks like a bunch of pictures,
but they're all hazing,
mm-hmm.
like the lens had grease on it or something like that. And every one of them, no matter who's in it, you can barely see the damn picture. Just take me. I had to pay $25 for this damn thing, and none of the pictures turned out.
You never did buy a good camera?
Let's see here. I can't find. There are no pictures of me from the mortar square. That kind of ticked me. It's kind of funny. The only pictures they got of me are from places that were not actually part of my job. That's.
Hey, when your job is blowing shit up from a distance.
Well, I'll give you an example. They got pictures of me at the gas mask training course. Okay. Wearing a gas mask.
Like, who's going to recognize that?
Bingo. Except for the name tape, you can't tell it's me.
Mm-hmm.
And then, see, they got one of me shooting a rifle that looked pretty good, but they got it from the helmet side, so you can't really tell it's me again.
Mm-hmm.
That was a damn good rifle shot. That's what pissed me off about that. Yes.
Hey, it pays. It's a useful skill in and out of the military.
Out of the entire company of almost, I think we had 138 people, I was one of the 3 best rifle shots. So I still got that little plaque somewhere for expert rifleman.
Yep. I remember my great uncle's little.
Okay, here's the one decent picture they actually got of me at the rifle range. Is that one right there?
You're on a walkie-talkie sitting in what?
No, that's if you look close. Let me see if I can show it to you a little better here. I don't know if that's my rifle on my shoulder, and the reason is you lock the bolt back. You put the rifle on your shoulder so that the instructor can see that your rifle is empty. When you're done shooting, that's what when you're done shooting, you clear the weapon, lock the bolt back, put it on your shoulder, and step back to the back of the foxhole that they've got there.
Oh, and okay.
And the instructor will come by and ensure that your weapon is empty. And you can actually see the instructor standing behind me.
Yeah.
When it happened.
Looked like he got a samurai sword across his knees.
No, I think that's the cover to the foxhole I'm sitting in. So,
well, it's a small photograph.
We lost one guy in our unit.
Oh, what happened?
He went over the foxhole. He pulled the cover up. He went to jump in the bottom of it. And they got a bunch of sandbags in the bottom of it. Now it is you pull the sandbags up, put them there to give yourself a rest when you're shooting.
Mm-hmm.
He went over there. And, of course, this is South Georgia. Well, Middle Georgia, I don't call it. But he pulled one of the sandbags up. There was a rattlesnake in that foxhole. He jumped out, grabbed a clip, loaded the weapon, locked it back. This was back when we had M16A1s. He flipped it to full automatic and lit that fucking rattlesnake up. Okay, so here we are. We're all sitting here getting sandbags ready. And all of a sudden we hear, bah! And of course, all we have are 10-round magazines. And so
on full auto, that don't last long.
He slapped a 10-round magazine in, flipped it to full auto, and lit that damn rattlesnake up. And the drill sergeant came over there, and he turned around, looked at the drill sergeant. He was going to tell the drill sergeant, "There's a fucking rattlesnake in my hall." Drill sergeant walked up, knocked him out, grabbed the weapon away from him, and that was the last we saw of that guy. Was them loading him in the back of a truck and getting him the hell out of there.
And then you all had rattlesnake nuggets for supper.
At least he didn't get bit by the damn rattlesnake. I'd call that a win.
That's where I thought John was going with this story.
Good old sock night.
Now, the really sad part, the really just, those are, the foxholes they have at the shooting range are concrete sewer pipe, like 4 feet across. Okay, so like, and he was literally bouncing bullets off the concrete into the bottom of this. Fortunately, there's, like I said, there's a bunch of sandbags, and the bottom of it's dirt. So fortunately, none of the bullets came back up and hit him in the face. You know, that's.
There'd been some soap in a sock.
Ooh.
We had one guy fell down the stairs.
Oh.
Our I told you we had the old World War II barracks. They're wooden stairs. Well, there have been so many people running up and down these stairs all these years that the corners, the edges of the stairs were rounded off from just guys in boots running up and down them all the damn time. And he came down there, slipped on the top one, and just did all the way down and messed up his back. So,
yeah.
Had another guy had a heart murmur, and he got out. And then we had one guy, and this was really stupid. He was allergic to peanut butter, or had a peanut allergy. And he told somebody this, and as a joke, this jackass walked up behind him with a dab of peanut butter on his finger and rubbed it on the back of his neck. 30 minutes later, he was in an ambulance headed to the hospital, and that actually got rid of 2 people.
Yeah, I would say so. Hate to interrupt, but
you're 5 minutes early.
Thought Skunk always did it at 10 minutes.
About 5 minutes. Well.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, Skunk does it at 5. I do it at 10. So.
Oh well, I did it whenever I did it. So
you do it.
I do.
You did it, dude.
At least I saw it this time.
Yeah, that's what them new glasses will do for you.
Okay,
Dan, what are you drinking tonight? I forgot to ask you that.
I was drinking Guinness Stout, and now I'm back on the natural light.
Thank you.
And
you back on the level with me?
Yep. The stout is really good beer, but I do have to work in the morning, so I'm trying to go back to the canoe
water.
Beer.
The water.
I'm trying to stay hydrated, and my wife has some. Oh, she went all out because it's the first time I've been back on 12-hour days in 5 years. So I've got breakfast, lunch, and dinner for tomorrow, and she's been cooking half the day. And I'm just going, honey, I'm already 50 pounds overweight. What are you trying to do?
Shit, I need to come over there. Hell.
Yeah, I was going to say, Dan's house for supper tomorrow night.
I got
breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Shit.
I got a
I'm
sell
about to
paper.
start driving.
I got a sell paper in the mail today for Food Lion and some other
Yeah.
grocery stores. But the Food Lion, they're having Boston butt pork roast, whole pork roast, 99 cents a pound. So I went to Food Lion to get one today. They're already sold out.
Yep. We had a bunch of stuff that was for coupons on sale for Kroger. We got there, and half the stuff that was on Lindsay's list for groceries was already. I mean, you just had empty shelves where those items were, and I'm going, "What happened to the hash browns?" She goes, "Oh well, 3 packs for $5." Well, yeah, okay, I understand how hash browns disappeared. Good grief! Like I said, half the stuff that she picked out for us to buy was no longer there at 2 in the afternoon when we went. She goes, "I'm going to have to start camping out in the parking lot so I can get this stuff first thing in the morning." I'm going,
Don't
"Honey,
laugh.
you don't drive."
7:30 in the morning at the grocery store is actually kind of cool for us old folks.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, I was about to say chicken is disappearing over here. I mean, chicken and even beef.
They had I was making, we were making chili the past week.
Yeah,
Well,
I seen. Yeah, I seen you a little chili.
yeah, and went and got some ground sirloin. Okay. I went in there and they had ground sirloin, ground chuck, and ground beef. And I'm like, get the ground sirloin. That'll go get the chili, and it did. Went back to get another. I went back to get another pound of it. It's already gone. I mean, not even 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. When I pack the stuff that I'm going to bring for food for HallowCon,
Yeah.
Lindsay's going to put a bunch of that the black ice in packages. The stuff that we get shipped from England when we order food from over there. It's just basically it's a plastic bag full of something that freezes and stays frozen for a long time.
I've got a couple of those.
She told me not to bring them home.
If
y'all want any, I'm going to be giving this stuff away.
Well, excuse me. Are you going to be able to make the hot shit?
I could, but I don't intend to.
Okay.
I mean,
you'll lose. You'll lose.
I have the ability, but I'd like to be able to eat some of it. So
yeah, don't need no ambulances showing up there.
Yeah,
you'll lose. You'll lose.
Hey, I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to get fed.
Survival.
Hey, it
don't have to be hot. It just got to be warm.
Oh, I can lay my hands on some habaneros and some ghost peppers and some Carolina Reapers if I wanted to.
Well,
I've got friends that would give me this stuff, but I can't eat it. So I'm not wasting a whole pot of chili on stuff I can't eat.
Well, I just said it just has to be warm.
Yeah, well, warm I can manage.
Warm.
Fire-breathing dragon, I'm not going to try.
No.
Josh, we don't want your chili near any Chevy Volts. That's all we're going to say.
Or any Pintos either.
Or Pintos. 74 Pintos.
Oh. I'll make two separate ones.
No, I'm just trying for something that tastes like good chili.
Joe Dog can eat my hot one, and he'll be shitting up his ass.
He'll be setting fire to the toilets in the hotel room. So yeah, I'll leave the hot stuff for the folks that can actually handle it. I just want the flavor of a good chili. That's
Yes.
all I ever aim for.
Yeah, I'll make a warm one.
Just don't be around if he says, "Is that popcorn I smell?"
I have heard that trick before.
Yes.
All right, I've got like 3 minutes before I have to go start the other show. I've already got it pulled up and ready to go. Did I pass y'all the link?
I believe so.
I think
Let
it's
me
on the
check.
chat.
Yep, it should be on the chat, and Bill had to have it separate. So I did my best. Don't get it mixed up with the one for Saturday. Saturday there will be no Last Man Standing. Next week I won't be. Let's see, Thursday night, yeah, but Saturday night I won't be there at all. I will be at work. So my first night shift in more than 5 years.
We were talking chili earlier. I don't normally make hot chili. I make meaty chili. I like tasty.
My wife don't like hot chili.
Because you can always add Tabasco sauce. You can't take it away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
That's the thing. You can always make it hot. You can't make it mild. Once you've made it, if it's hot to start with, you can't make it milder. I don't care if you've got a 55-gallon drum of sour cream.
No.
It's not going to work.
No, you add brown sugar.
All right, we got about 1 minute left. I'm going to hop over to the other channel.
See
John,
y'all.
if you want to go ahead and close things out.
Good night, Carrie. Good night, Ace. Good night, Carl. Good night, Donna. Good night, Pizza. Who did this?
Via con Dios.
Yep. And now, Last Man Standing is going to have a strict deadline. So when I got to go to bed, I got to go to bed.
Totally understand.
All right.
Well, just you and me.
And yeah, about 1 minute. 1 minute.
Not even that. Got 20 seconds.
Or 20 seconds. Okay.
20 seconds. Oh, wait.
And these glasses are getting to me.
Really?
The nose. I think I need to adjust them again. I was just
Bill,
telling Laura that.
Nice having you on tonight. See you later.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space. Put out my hand touch the face of God.